In what can only be good news, I would assume, Marvel's Shang-Chi was previously tracking around a $30 million debut for its opening weekend. Now those numbers have doubled in some instances with projections. So let's talk about why this is obviously good. So previously, when it came to Shang-Chi, the reports were not so good. I think that's a good way to put it. Obviously, box office can be all over the place and is all over the place nowadays. Most of you people with a functioning brain know that an ongoing world pandemic has impacted every single film, and securing a Chinese release date is important, but that had to be worked out years ago. So many films today are not able to release there, which is impacting their bottom line. The Suicide Squad is a great example. Same with Black Widow. Shang-Chi is next. So obviously, numbers were rather low. We were looking at $25 to $35-ish million opening weekend, which was a disaster. Now as we get closer to the film, there's more hype, the reviews, the Rotten Tomatoes, the buzz is starting to kick up. Numbers have gone up. On the low end now, they're in the 35 to 40 million range, some going upwards of 70. Now, Disney, in my opinion, has not made their estimates public, and they won't. We're going to hear some news about it. I will guess they will come in at a safe 30, maybe to 40 max, and if they get past that, it's a victory for them. At the same time, people will spin it as a negative depending on what it does. They'll ignore the facts, they'll ignore various things, but overall, they got to be happy with this, with the numbers rising, because if they can at least hit 300 million worldwide, that's great. They will have 45 days to hit that before it comes to Disney Plus. Then more people will see it, interest will rise. If they can somehow get close to $400 million in that time, this film is a victory, because of course it is, right? Like, again, the status of the world has to be brought into every single discussion, and the rise of the variant and all that. And no, I'm not talking about the low-key variants. Some people in the comments actually thought that's what I meant when I said variant before. The pandemic. There is literally places on this planet where typically you would sell out an entire screen for a Marvel film. Now, the Marvel film can only allow upwards of 25 people on that screen, and people are still reluctant, and they have to show proof. So, obviously, do the math, right? We're making clear of this. That's why the Suicide Squad didn't do so good either. So, whatever happens with this film, we're going to know soon, but at least you're seeing an increase in box office predictions, because if this film can manage to do what Ant-Man did pre-pandemic, that's a victory.